Around a year ago, a mod for Pizza Tower called Lap Hell was released. The mod itself was another lapping mod following the success of Lap 3, with its main selling point being that it added a fourth lap featuring snick.exe and the war timer. While this was a pretty cool idea and concept, the mod itself was sort of half-baked, with the war timer not even being a threat most of the time and one of the levels literally being impossible even after the mod got its final update. The Lap Hell hotfix mod was made to fix this, with the only things initially added being a fix for the impossible level and adjustments to all the timers to make them more strict. However, over the course of several months, this mod has been continuously updated with new features and improvements to the point where it's far surpassed its initial status as a hotfix and now sits among the greatest Pizza Tower mods of all time. In this video, I'm going to cover every feature this mod has to offer, as well as its many additional visuals, secrets, and unlockables. The Lap Hell mod adds an extra 3 laps after lap 2, allowing you to lap each level a total of 5 times. Starting on lap 3, new threats will be added during each lap to make escaping more difficult. Lap 3 adds Pizza Face, who relentlessly homes in on your position and instantly kills you upon making contact. Lap 4 adds 2 major threats. The first is snick.exe, who chases you similarly to Pizza Face but damages you on contact instead of killing you. If you're playing as a noise, snick.exe will be replaced by boots.exe, who acts pretty much the same while sporting a different appearance. The second is the war timer, which acts similarly to the level it originates from, instantly ending your run if time runs out. Finally, lap 5 adds John Ghost, who acts the same as he does in Waste Yard, rubber banding to your position and teleporting you to the start of the room if you get caught. Additionally, this mod has a checkpoint system that allows you to respawn at the start of a lap instead of having to replay the entire level. This is a great quality of life feature that used to not exist in older lapping mods, so I'm definitely glad it's here. Another cool thing this mod adds is a new ranking system. When completing a level on lap 3 or more, you'll receive a medal based on how far you got in addition to your regular rank. There's a unique medal for every lap, as well as purple variants for if you complete it with a P rank. These are a nice way to measure progress as you beat levels, and the satisfaction I get from seeing 2 purple medals above a door instead of just 1 is immaculate. The overall lapping experience is pretty similar for both the Noise and Pepino, with the only real differences being in how you approach each level based on the character's individual movesets. However, a pretty large change is implemented if you decide to tackle a level in swap mode. When on lap 3 or more in swap mode, you'll be given 1 life per character, meaning that if Pepino gets caught by Pizza Face, the Noise will still be able to swap in and try to beat the level himself. Upon catching a character, Pizza Face will be stunned temporarily, and the character who is caught will no longer be usable. You can also revive the fallen character if you get a combo of 25 after losing them, which is difficult in most levels but not impossible. These changes were implemented to balance out the difficulty of lapping with the unpredictable nature of multiplayer mode, but they also double as a pseudo easy mode, giving you 2 lives when playing in single player instead of just 1. I honestly prefer this method of adding in easy mode, as it still retains the original difficulty of the level while offering a bit more room for error. Overall, the base lapping experience is a great incremental challenge and provides a difficulty curve that accommodates a wide range of skill levels. Yo, what's up everyone? It's me, the guy who plays way too much video games. I just wanted to drop in real quick and say that you should subscribe. That's literally all I wanted to say. Start the next part. One of the many changes to the base game this mod introduces is the ability to lap the tutorial level. The level has even been modified, so you have to run all the way back through instead of just entering the pizza box. This makes lapping this level significantly harder, but if you're able to beat it on lap 5, you'll unlock something that may sound familiar if you've played the original mod. Introducing Lap Hell. In the original Lap Hell mod, Lap Hell was basically just a weird version of infinite lapping that appeared after lap 4, with each subsequent lap adding a random gimmick to make it harder. For the longest time, this mode was missing from Pizza Pursuit, with Cyvap choosing to focus more on improving the base lapping experience, but eventually he did get around to adding it, and now it's back and better than ever. Lap Hell now functions more as an endless high score based mode, with laps progressively getting harder as time goes on. On top of having the war timer active, each lap spawns a different number of enemies, with earlier laps only spawning 1 and later laps spawning a max of 5. There are 8 different enemies that can be chosen: Pizza Face, Snicker Boots, Boots, Jongos, the Tomato Puppet, Santa, Goblin Cannon, Fake Peppino, and Pedito. These first 6 function exactly the same as they do either in their original levels or in previous laps, and Fake Peppino simply copies all of your moves, but Pedito is a completely unique enemy that only appears in Lap Hell. He functions similarly to a Boo from Mario, freezing in place while you're looking at him and rapidly accelerating when you look away. Another thing Lap Hell adds is a health bar. You get 6 health total, and if your health reaches 0, you lose. Every time you get hit, you lose 1 health, and your health fully refills every 5 laps. This health bar is a strange but cool addition, and I like that it adds an extra layer of difficulty and strategy to the mode. Most of these enemies are only able to do damage to you, so this health bar combined with the war timer really makes every enemy a threat, not just Pizza Face. Overall, I think this is a fantastic overall to the concept of Lap Hell and a nice extra for people who like endless modes like this. In case you thought the base lapping experience of this mod was too easy, there's actually an even harder difficulty that was added in the most recent update, Lunatic Mode. This mode essentially buffs every threat on laps 3 to 5 to be exponentially harder to deal with. Pizza Face now acts similarly to John Ghost, with the main difference being he gains speed fast and loses speed slow. This ends up leading to scenarios where you get too far away and suddenly a Mach 5 Pizza Face zooms out of nowhere and crushes your hopes and dreams. He also has a new feature where by taunting 4 times he'll become enraged and start moving even faster than normal, which makes him pretty much impossible to avoid. Snick and Boots have been sped up dramatically, and the war timer is now shortened on every level to be much more strict. Finally, John Ghost now has the ability to teleport to the other side of the screen. This only happens if you get far enough away to make this bar go all the way up, so I'd recommend either slowing down a bit or just dodging him when he teleports. These changes seem pretty small, but they completely change the way you play each level. Pizza Face's rubber band physics and John's teleportation often force you to change your route, whether that be by slowing down or going out of the way to dodge them. Snick is also about twice as annoying as usual, basically constantly flying into you at top speeds in some of the smaller rooms. All of this combined with a ludicrously tight timer and you have a recipe for peak suffering no matter what level you choose. Additionally, Lunatic Mode also affects Lap Hell, increasing the max number of enemies from 5 to 6, decreasing your health from 6 to 3, and increasing the amount of enemies at the start from 1 to 4. During Lap Hell, Pizza Face, Snick, and John Ghost are also reverted back to their normal versions, as combining their Lunatic Mode versions with the other enemies would probably just be straight up impossible at some points. If you manage to complete a level with Lunatic Mode active, you'll get a unique pointed medal that will distinguish it from regular completions. I definitely don't recommend trying this mode unless you're exceptionally good at normal lapping, but for those looking for an extreme challenge, I'd say this is a pretty great addition. On top of all the new modes and features added, this mod also introduces a new level in the form of the Pizza Gauntlet. This level combines all 19 main level escape sequences into one massive endurance test. Similarly to Secrets of the World, the levels are played in a random order and it takes around 20 minutes to finish a single lap. However, the real challenge from this level comes when you enter that lap 3 portal. Typically, your average lap 3 has 1 or 2 choke points where you have a pretty high chance of dying each time you attempt it. Some of the harder levels like Blood Sauce have upwards of 4 to 5 choke points, with pretty much every room presenting at least a slight chance of failure. Now compare that to the Pizza Gauntlet, which includes every choke point from every level in a random order, all in one attempt. So yeah, you can probably understand why saying this level is difficult is the understatement of the century. Playing the Pizza Gauntlet is truly death by 1,000 paper cuts. Even if you're extremely consistent at every level, there's just so many parts where the slightest misinput can end your run, and the further you get into the level, the more likely that is to happen. I spent around 3 hours on stream plus an additional 8 hours off stream trying to beat this level on lap 3 for this video, and I literally just had to give up because it was taking too long. I'm still planning on streaming more attempts in the future, but this should give you an idea as to just how insane this level is. It's obviously harder than every other level in the game, including Secrets of the World, and should really only be attempted if you've already mastered everything else this mod has to offer. Before I continue, I want to quickly address this console that's been added to each floor of the tower. Opening this console reveals a settings menu for the mod with 3 main sections. The first section handles changes that are related to gameplay and includes stuff like toggles for Lap Hell and Lunatic Mode, how many checkpoints you want, Lap 2 skip, and even a setting that makes you spontaneously combust if you lose your P rank. The next section contains a lot of quality of life features such as toggles for the Halloween update, 2 decimal places on the war timer, regular lapping music, and in War, disabling the retry and exit level buttons once you reach lap 3, and even a feature that displays your in-game activity on your Discord profile. There's also an option on this page that's initially just all question marks, but if you type the word chaos, it'll be revealed as chaos mode. This setting basically turned your game into a Chaos Lord video, with all of the filters and edits he uses in his lapping series being added to the game in real time. The final section in the settings menu allows you to change the music that plays on each lap. You can add custom music by dragging a .ogg file into this hotfix music folder, after which it'll show up in this menu and you can select it. If any of you end up playing this mod, I definitely recommend using this menu. It's got a lot of useful settings and is key to accessing most of the mod's content. If you play this mod for long enough, you're bound to run into a unique NPC in the hub world. This NPC resembles a normal pizza granny, with the only difference being a detective hat placed on her head. Upon talking to this detective pizza granny, she reveals that she actually has some important info, with the rest of the message containing a vague hint. These hints usually describe a challenge of sorts, and upon completing most of the challenges, you'll be rewarded with a new piece of custom clothing. This mod adds 17 clothes in total, and the challenges range from pretty simple to extremely difficult. I want this video to double as a complete guide for this mod, so in this section I'm going to go through every single challenge and explain what you need to do to get each of the clothes. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory, but some of them do require some clarification, so I'll do my best to provide that. Starting out, to get the Dirty Dedication outfit, you have to beat a level on lap 3 with the worst possible rank. There's a couple of ways to go about this, but the one I ended up doing was getting to Oregano Desert lap 3 with as few points as possible, and then losing the rest by running into this guy's axe over and over in the second to last room. It took me like 20 minutes, but eventually I lost enough points to finish the level with a D rank, netting me the outfit. Fancyish Fedora requires you to P rank lap 3 war with the lap 2 skip setting enabled. This means that you need to collect a lot more points during laps 1 and 3 due to lap 2 being gone now, so I recommend trying to get as many points as possible in lap 1 to save yourself some trouble. Blessing Bliss also requires lap 2 skip to be on and takes place in golf. In order to get this outfit, you have to perform the speedrun strat that involves placing a burger guy next to the pillar in order to skip most of the escape sequence, run all the way back to the lapping portal, and then beat lap 3 in the same run. This is pretty tricky because since most of the escape sequence was skipped, all the golf blocks are still intact, requiring you to break them while Pizza Face is chasing you. Luckily, in this video I actually already beat the entirety of Golf's escape sequence, including breaking the golf blocks with Pizza Face chasing me, so if you want to know how to get these clothes, just go watch that video. Kinetic Kaboom is obtained by exiting a level when the war timer is about to go off. The hint the detective granny gives for this one is pretty vague, but the exact timing for it is the last 10 frames or 1/6 of a second. I recommend going into your settings and enabling the extended war timer, then just try to leave when the timer is right about to hit 0. Sly Snooper is gotten after being a lap 4 without coming into contact with Snicker Boots once. The level that I used to beat this challenge was Pizza Scare as the noise, as the only part where I had to actively avoid Boots was this one room about halfway through. Goofiest Goober is very accurate to the name, requiring you to let the entire war timer expire while staying in the first room of lap 5. For this one, I'd recommend going into Pizza Scare again, as the first room is absolutely massive and will easily allow you to run out the clock. Monochrome Madness is probably one of the harder ones to get, requiring you to complete the noises tutorial on lap 5 pretty much flawlessly. This is another case where the Pizza Granny's hint is pretty vague, but the exact time you need is a minute 40 or less, which means you pretty much have to just complete this deathless. Doing the second room 3 times in a row is pretty difficult, but as long as you put enough attempts in, you should be able to get it eventually. Dazzling Diamond takes place exclusively in lap 5 of Trick or Treat. To get these clothes, you have to finish the lap while collecting the minimum amount of pumpkins possible. The only unavoidable pumpkin in the level is right here about halfway through, meaning that for every other pumpkin you'll have to go out of your way to avoid collecting them. This one isn't too tough as long as you know where all the pumpkins are, and make sure to slow down and jump over the ones on the main path. Fearsome Floof seems difficult at first, requiring you to listen to the lap 3 Lunatic Mode theme Hellfired Pizza until it loops around 2 minutes in. However, you can easily cheese this one by just entering a transition over and over again to stall Pizza Face until you get the clothes. Ludicrous Logs is obtained by turning on Lunatic Mode and taunting Pizza Face at least 8 times. This can be done in a lot of levels, but I personally recommend just taunting 8 times at the end part of John Gutter. Sunlit Sparks is gotten by scoring over 350,000 points in lap hell. I was gonna give this one for the video, but I died less than 1,000 points away from 350k, and there's no way I'm sitting through another half hour of lap hell to get it, so you'll just have to use your imagination. Overcrowded objectives is also obtained in lap hell, this time just requiring you to enable Lunatic Mode and get the max amount of 6 enemies chasing you. I'd recommend setting lap hell to start after lap 2 in the console, because otherwise you'll end up like me spending more time being Lunatic Mode than the actual challenge. These final 5 clothes are, in my opinion, the hardest ones to get by far. First up is Hectic Hellfire, which can only be obtained by completing the Pizza Gauntlet on lap 3. I would definitely recommend doing this in swap mode so you get an extra life, but it's gonna be painful either way, so only go for it if you want to suffer. This clothing is actually also based on me being orange and associated with lap 3, so that's pretty cool. Lapping Lunatic and Super Lapping Lunatic are clothes exclusive to Peppino and the Noise respectively, and are both earned after completing all 19 main levels as the respective character on lap 4. Cosmic Chaos is similar, except you must beat all 19 lap 4s with a P rank. Also, if it wasn't obvious, Cosmic Chaos was inspired by Chaos Lord. Finally, we have Milky Mastery, which requires you to complete 10 levels on lap 5 with Lunatic Mode enabled. This one is, in my opinion, the hardest one to get in the entire game, because Lunatic Mode lap 5s are just pure pain and should never be attempted by any normal human being. As you've probably seen from some of the previews of these clothes that I've been showcasing, a lot of the patterns are actually animated, which is something I haven't seen before either in the main game or other mods. These animated clothes are probably my favorites, they all just look so cool. I think that these clothes provide a really fun challenge for anyone willing to go for most or all of them. They require you to utilize most mechanics from every game mode, and completing all of the hints will allow you to see pretty much everything the mod has to offer. For the final part of this review, I'd like to quickly touch on all the new additions, features, and secrets that I didn't mention in the previous sections. There are a whole lot of these, so we're gonna blast through them in a quick lightning round. First up, there are unique pizza portals and lap flags for laps 3 to 5 and lap hell, with another set of lap flags being exclusive to Lunatic Mode. Peppino, Gustavo, and the Noise all have a unique TV screen when lapping in normal mode, and each character gets 3 additional unique screens for each lap in Lunatic Mode. Gustavo and Brick's transition screen is now changed to include Pizza Face, Snick, and John Ghost based on which lap you're on, as well as a special screen for lap hell, with the Back to That Guy screen also receiving this treatment. Of course, following the Noise update, the Noise's equivalent screens have also been changed appropriately. The Deep Dish 9 ship and Pig City taxi cutscenes have both been modified on laps 3 through 5. I want to specifically highlight the Noise's Pig City lap 5 cutscene, which involves him crashing the taxi into a wall, because it's very funny and made me laugh. On Golf and Wastyard, Snick and his counterpart Boots both have unique behavior for certain parts of the level. Also, I forgot to write this in the script, but these both only happen in Lunatic Mode. On Golf, if you run into one of these guys, they'll treat you like a golf ball and hit you right back towards Pizza Vase. This is a guaranteed death, and a custom Primoberg animation plays right after. On Wastyard, when you get to the ghost section, both Boots and Snick will go for the ghost mushroom and transform into a ghost themselves, allowing them to damage you even when you're a ghost. Both Peppino and the Noise's tutorials now have an extra room for lapping, with this room containing unique instruction images for each lap. In every level, if you enter the lap portal room while on lap 4, you have a small chance to encounter a random character before the portal. These guys are called Pizza Pursuers, and most of them are just references to playtesters and other contributors to the mod. There's even a chance to encounter a certain green booglet if you look hard enough. If you type the command test_p_rank and then try to beat the level, this will happen. When you beat the game as the Noise, the ending screen now includes Boots and the lapping flag, with Snick also being there if you get to the end in swap mode. Last but not least, when booting up the game, this weird long Peppino loading screen has been replaced with an equally long Pizza Face loading screen. In conclusion, Lap Hell Pizza pursues far and away the best lapping mod available at this point in time. It's extremely polished, balanced, and offers a challenge for both normal players and seasoned veterans. The amount of love and care that's been put into adding additional features and content is genuinely commendable, and I want to give a massive shout out to all the people listed on the mod's Game Banana page for doing such a great job. If you own Pizza Tower, I implore you to check this mod out. It basically adds multiple fully fleshed out game modes on top of the base game, and all completely free for download. With that though, I think I'm done gushing about this mod. If you want to see my review of a slightly easier but equally enjoyable lapping mod, check out my eggs lap mod video. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.